Hey guys, so a little while ago, I made a reel about the authenticity versus attachment. Uh, and I noticed that there was a few down likes, and that's completely okay. That's not, I wish I would have commented why they disagree, so at least then I could address it. Um, Regardless, I'm going to go a little bit more into it and explain the theory behind this concept. Okay. So, my microphone on. Oh, yeah, this came. Good, 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 good. So, authenticity versus attachment. Let's think about it. As we grow up, I'm not going to say this is the scenario or the dynamic for everybody. I'm part of the 1% of people who, from a very, very young age, said F you to attachment because I wasn't provided it. And this isn't a path anybody wants to walk on. Heck, I didn't even know what I was walking into. However, I've learned from it. I've taken the wisdom from my experiences, and now I am here to explain it because there is different levels of this as we grow up. You're going to, let's say you have a great life growing up. Okay, great, great, great life. And you were never given a reason to pick authenticity over attachment. So I'm going to get into this. Who you authentically are, you lose that as you grow up from a young age because you need to become someone to survive, whether that be tradition, whether that be culture, whether that be a religion. You're never given a chance to choose yourself what feels right because the healthier the family dynamic, the more inclined a child is going to be to conform to their conditioning. Okay? And I'm not here even talking about religion. I'm just saying this is a fact. If you have a healthy family, why would you want to go against the grain? Exactly, right? So this is completely okay. Like this is normal. But this is still a factor that affects us as we grow up. So let's say now you're in college and you don't have any friends and you feel like you should have friends. However, to be friends with certain people, you have to do things you may per se doesn't feel right in your soul or talk about things that really don't interest you. Um, there's lots of different dynamics of this. And you may even convince yourself that this is who you are just to survive. And you don't know that you're in a state of survival. So for me, when I was super, super young, I wasn't provided any kind of security. I didn't have love. I didn't have stability. So those three things, by the time that I was 13 and I got kicked out, I was like, peace. And I never looked back. Okay. I was fed up. I was done. I figured I could do it better on my own. Sooner or later, I realized there's no such thing as a perfect parent. And life isn't simple. Life doesn't come with a handbook. And having that stability and that security and the love allows us to slowly develop these things in a way that is acceptable to our conditioning and our surroundings, right? It's not necessarily how you would develop them as if you were on your own, where you had the free will to choose how you and what you were around, you know? And if it was okay to say, oh, well, I don't really agree with this without being shunned or shamed or beaten for some people, um, which would take away from the security in a way. This is trauma bonding. Okay. Uh, so you don't really get to develop your own opinions. And that's okay. So when you get older, though, and you feel like you should be somewhere in life that you're not, that is a trigger to tell you that you're not being your authentic self and that you've detached from your being, your essence of who you really are. Okay? Don't get mad at yourself. I want to let you know that if you're feeling this way, there is a reason and this is why, and you're not alone. It can be fixed. The older we get, the more the safer it is to become your authentic self. You got to think as a child as well. You are with your parents are your caregivers. So you don't really have a whole lot of independence or freedom to say things that you feel. So we do depend on them in a way, like a child is a prisoner to their environment because they don't know and they don't have the ability to go out and do it by themselves. And no 13-year-old in their right mind should be on their own on the streets. No, that's just not right. So give yourself a little bit of compassion here and know that you have the free will to honor how you feel now. Again, starting from the present moment and working your way back is going to be the best way to do it. And being raw and real to yourself saves you the public embarrassment of someone else calling you out in the future. Okay. So, attachment. Why do we pick attachment? Because one, we are children. We need our parents to survive. And we would like to have a good environment, have good experiences day to day. We don't want to fight with our parents, right? So we detach from how we feel and decide and are victims of our conditioning. So we want to have good memories and good times. We want to laugh. We want to be able to go out with our friends. So we conform to the conditioning. So we can go out with our friends, we can have fun. Slowly, as we grow up, we detach from how we originally felt. Our moral compass, okay? Your instinctual, the instincts of when something's like ding, 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 something is wrong here. We detach from that. We lose touch with that. And unfortunately, the healthier the family dynamic, the further we detach from this. And then we start getting into unhealthy things, whether that, and it doesn't seem like they're unhealthy because we're told they're healthy, right? But I mean, if you're bullying anybody, if you're judging somebody, if you're feeling like you're better than anybody else, if you are surrounding yourself with a crowd that fuels any of these things, yeah, okay, it goes much deeper. So if you are in question to see if something is your authentic self, please comment down below and I will get back to you and I will reframe what I'm saying. If it's not resonating with you and you're curious, comment down below. I'll get back to you, okay? So authenticity. Going against the grain. I was just so angry by the time that I was 13. Like my parents were always together, not together, fighting all the time. They were partying, there was drugs in the house. But I was just, by the time that I was 5, I did try to get me and my brother taken out of the house. Unfortunately, I got this close and I failed because my mom started crying and they left us there. So I understand now the dynamics and I've forgiven both my parents and I love them unconditionally. My mom is gone. So, I mean, that was my realization of you only get one family and regardless of what people do, you need to love them. And me and my dad, we have a good relationship. So anger and being fed up. By the time I was 13, I was so angry, actually. Like this is a secondary emotion. All I knew is that I was so mad inside and I could not control my dad would get drunk and we would end up fighting. Things would get like, it was just, my mom got cancer, so she couldn't like get in between. And I was mad at her and him at the same time. Like I was just so angry. I took the first chance that I could to get out of there. Don't let yourself get to this point. If you happen to this point, you can come back from it. And if you are on the verge of this point, there is coping skills to avoid getting to this point and understanding yourself and removing yourself in much healthier ways and avoiding so much more problems in the long run. Okay, so authenticity, moral compass, Honoring emotions regardless of surroundings. Speaks up. Fearless, I'll put. Safe. You create that safety for yourself to be who you are. Authenticity is such a broad term to use for a variety of experiences and different spectrums in life. And getting back to who you are and how you feel inside is going to involve something called the dark night of the soul. I mean, like, this is what life is dealt to them. Like, this is where they get on, and they have no choice but to go through it. And then other people really start to, they're so unfulfilled in their present life that they seek for that fulfillment. And this would be a part of getting to that fulfillment, because it's a deconstruction of everything you know to rebuild who you truly are in your heart and how you feel, and finding that balance, that peace, that wholeness, and forgiveness and compassion for everyone that you deal with and yourself, where external things no longer affect your internal well-being. You raise your consciousness and you become one between the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, and of course the higher power. And I don't give myself credit for any of this. I give the higher power credit for all of this. All the information that I have has been guided from however you resonate with it. I call God purple monkey dishwasher. Okay. The knowledge that I have, there's no reason for it to have come from me. Okay. I'm telling you that right now. I don't take the credit. I just speak the word. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than willing to reframe and say it differently so that I explain in such a way where you can find peace and understanding within it. So I hope this video helps you guys between the difference between authenticity and attachment, because it's not anyone's fault. Like, this happens from early childhood before we register what is happening. We can't process. We have no processing skills, no nothing. It's completely normal. But if you are tired of feeling unfulfilled in your life, or you keep running into situations where you don't know how to express yourself properly, it's mainly because we're choosing attachment over authenticity. And finding the balance between the two without going like hard left or hard right or vice versa, you know what I mean, is intimidating. Yes, it is lonely when we decide to do it and figure it out independently. Okay. I so very much so want to have you avoid that loneliness and the separation, because doing it alone, it gets worse before it gets better. Okay. Okay. So peace and love, you guys. I hope this video helps. Comment below, like and subscribe, and till the next one.